Evan Marinofsky here for Bruins Ringside outside Warrior Ice Arena on a very, very hot summer day. But what better day to start our new summer series called Expectations, which is presented by our good friends over at Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/Bruins to get a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin C, as well as 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So, first player of expectations this summer, Jake DeBrusk. Little controversial last year. Had the trade request, kind of like a stock. He started pretty low. Didn't really fit in the bottom 6, then gets brought up to the top 6 second half of the year, begins to produce with Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand, ends with 25 goals, also gets a contract extension out of it. So again, ended the year really well last year. The trade request got rescinded just a few weeks ago. And now things are looking pretty good for him going into the 2022-23 season. So, what are the expectations? Well, in training camp, it's going to be interesting to see if him and Fabian Lysell battle for the right side next to Patrice Bergeron if and when Patrice Bergeron does return. So that's going to be something interesting to watch. I do think Jake DeBrusk kind of gets the tie goes to the runner on that one. I do think DeBrusk begins the season in the top 6. I think they're going to rely on him quite a bit. I do think it's a safe bet that he might have over 30 goals this year. He's been kind of on the doorstep of 30 goals a few times in his career. I think a full season with the confidence he has under Jim Montgomery, a new head coach, a full season in the top 6, especially when Brad Marchand does return. If DeBrusk is producing, if you have a Marchand, Bergeron, DeBrusk line for more than just a half of a season, I do think that's going to produce dividends, especially with Marchand and Bergeron on the left and down the middle. Again, he's got to produce at right wing, and that was something that we saw last year with him. He produced really well on that right side. He even mentioned in his end of season press conference, he even kind of surprised himself in the sense of producing on that right side. So last year was a big kind of confidence builder for him, and I think it's an easy bet to assume that he's going to have a really good year in 2022-23. Now, granted, as you loyal listeners know, I have not been the best in the past with the DeBrusk expectations, but I do think it is a safe assumption this year to think he is going to put up around 30 goals, especially with a full year next to Marchand and Bergeron. I'm also curious and just how much of a confidence builder Jim Montgomery is with Jake DeBrusk. I know, a lot was made with him and Bruce Cassidy, but I do think with Jim Montgomery and kind of his strategy to help younger players, I do think there's a lot there with Jake DeBrusk. So those are my expectations for DeBrusk. I think DeBrusk stays in the top 6 for the entirety of the season. I think they're going to need that. The rest of the top 6, when fully healthy, is pretty much solidified if Bergeron and Krejci both do return, by the way. So Marchand, Bergeron, Taylor Hall, David Krejci, David Pastrnak. It's that 6th spot, and it's that top spot on the right side next to Marchand and Bergeron. I think DeBrusk keeps it for the entire year. At least that should be the expectation. They do not want to be going into the trade deadline, which is a while from now, but they do not want to be going into the trade deadline saying, hey, we need to go out and acquire another top 6 winger because they have it in-house in Jake DeBrusk. So that is expectations. That's the first expectation series. We're going to have expectations for you all summer long, multiple per week, and you can make sure to follow us here on Bruins Ringside.